Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today is a beautiful day. It's 45 degrees out, but it's sunny. It feels so warm and nice. And I really wanted to get out and do some exploring outside. If you watched my video I posted recently on how to use the Find a Grave app, that's what I'm doing. I have come to the Evergreen Cemetery on the east side of Charlotte, and I just pulled up to see if there were any famous people buried here. And I found someone I have never heard of in my life. It was a young girl named Abigail Adams. She was only 33 when she passed away, and she's buried here. She's famous because she was an actress, and I plan to go home and look her up and learn as much as I can about her and share it with you. While I'm here, I'm going to share with you where she's buried, and it just so happens that today, February 13th, is the anniversary of her passing away. So I knew it was fitting, it had to be done. I have to show you her gravesite and tell you a little bit about Abigail Adams. Abigail Adams was born as Margaret Thomas Adams on January 11, 1922. She always claimed to be a descendant of President John Adams and his son, President John Quincy Adams. During her freshman year at the University of North Carolina, Abigail was discovered by modeling agent Harry Conover, and she immediately dropped out of school and moved to New York City to become a model. She made her film debut in the 1942 comedy Moonlight Masquerade. Abigail had bit parts in more than a dozen films, mostly low-budget westerns, including Bathing Beauty and Marriage is a Private Affair. For a short time, she used the stage name Tommy Adams. On January 22, 1942, at the age of 21, she married 41-year-old actor Lyle Talbot, but the marriage was annulled only 8 months later. Abigail went on to become romantically involved with many Hollywood A-listers of the time, including Tony Martin, Mickey Rooney, and pianist Jose Iturbi. Ultimately, she began a turbulent 11-year romance with actor George Jessel in 1944. George was 23 years her senior and had 3 ex-wives. They broke up and got back together numerous times. In March of 1945, Abigail was arrested for a hit-and-run while driving, but the charges against her were dropped when George Jessel testified in her defense. Abigail's apartment was destroyed in a fire in December of 1947, and she credited her dog with alerting her to the smoke and saving her life. The fire was later ruled to be caused by a cigarette that had been dropped while it was still lit. By this point in her life, Abigail had a serious drinking problem, and her career was in trouble. Of the 15 films she had been cast in, she was only credited in 4 of them, and all of the roles were mostly bit parts. Her last film was the 1948 comedy The Fuller Brush Man. George Jessel proposed to her with a heart-shaped diamond ring, but he refused to set a wedding date. They continued to have an on-again, off-again relationship. Abigail transitioned her career into singing in nightclubs and even wrote a screenplay. She suffered from severe insomnia and began taking sleeping pills at night. Her first suicide attempt was in 1950 when she slashed her wrists. She was arrested again on December 12, 1954 for public intoxication, and her relationship with George Jessel ended shortly after that. On February 13, 1955, at only 33 years of age, she was discovered in her low-rent Sunset Strip apartment in her bed wearing a blue nightgown, deceased after an overdose of sleeping pills. The police ruled her death as accidental, but many of her peers believe she may have committed suicide. Her renown for her many affairs with Hollywood notables of the time and her accidental overdose of barbiturates created much scandal and sensationalism at the time. She is buried here at the Evergreen Cemetery in Charlotte, North Carolina. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was kind of short and sweet, but I'm really enjoying the Find a Grave app. It's such a neat way to learn about people who were long gone, long before I ever came into this world, but they were important and they mattered. And I really enjoy using it. It gives me a great chance to get out and get the fresh air and sunshine that I crave and learn a little something and have a little fun. And I really, really enjoy bringing it here to YouTube to share with you guys. So that's it for this video. I'll see you another day in another adventure. Bye, guys.